My thing is I don't like anything to die. So, you know, you get a scabby old car or bike and then you strip it down and you paint it. You know, I've got friends that have pulled stuff out of hedges and watched them restore it. I'm happy for them that, you know, that car's lived on. You think by the time you get home at 5:30 you've had enough, but I don't. You know, if I've had a stressful day, I'm quite happy to go in and play with my bikes. You know, I'm into push bikes as well. So yeah, I mean, just you've got to have a project, I believe. So I try and do a project. The enjoyment of that, of getting that project right, I've achieved something else, and then I'm on to the next, or you know, I'll go and help a friend of his. My upbringing was brilliant. I had a really good upbringing. Mum and Dad, we didn't have a lot, but we did a lot. Push bikes was an early thing for us, BMXs. My first sort of motorbike, I was about 9. Dad got that for me. I always remember it, and that was like the start of me of my motorbikes, really. Mum and Dad always had bikes. It was always spoken about. So in my mind, I think bikes was going to be the way forward for me. My dad seemed to be the one that I looked up to. I always wanted to impress him, and I always never wanted to let him down, and that was the way he brought me up. So everything I do in life, I always think, what would my dad think, what would my dad think? From early on, I knew I wanted to do something mechanical. So a mechanic was the direction I was going. My granddad was a mechanical engineer. Dad has a mechanical background, but does engineering. So that was sort of the track I wanted to go when I was younger, so I did an apprenticeship. And Dad sort of helped me along with that role, helped me get the interview, and that was the direction I wanted to go. I did my apprenticeship, and then, you know, sort of qualified when I'm 16, and then getting to like 21 now, and I'm doing the same thing day in, day out, and I was like, what am I doing? You know, alright, it was good, you know, playing with the cars, playing with the bikes, but every day I was doing the same thing, and I was like, there's got to be more to life than that. And it just happened, I got chatting to a guy who brought his car in for the workshop. He said, mate, why didn't you join the army? I was like, I've never even thought of that. And that was my sort of direction change of, oh, maybe there is something more out there. And I was just getting this warm feeling, like, you know, that's what I want to do. I could be a mechanic in the army, going overseas. There's a lot more opportunities for me, going away, you know, and they mentioned the adventure training, skiing, and I was like, you know, I want a bit of that, and that really was my turning point. I was a kid from Shrewsbury that never really left Shrewsbury, apart from going on holidays to Aberystwyth, and I'm getting on this train and I'm changing my life. I'd done what I wanted to do. I went overseas, got a few medals. You know, did just over 11 years, and I served with some of the best people in the world. You know, you learn discipline, confidence, robustness, you're motivated. And these are all these factors that make you the soldier they want to be. Now, we had our daughter, and I knew at that time that I wanted to be at home, so it was time for me to leave. You know, and they say, oh, civil life's hard, but you've learnt these skills, so, you know, you'll be all right, you'll settle back in, or you'll evolve back into civilian life. I tell you what, it was a massive shock to me. I thought I was doing the right thing, and I joined a company that did contract work for the military, so I still had that military connection, but it was in a civilian role. Now, I probably did that job for 2 months, and I went from up here to, like, you know, I couldn't get out of bed. I was getting home from work tired, and I was just thought to myself, oh, maybe, you know, it's a hard day. But my partner recognised it straight away. She was like, something is not right here. I'm normally fit and healthy, I've got loads of energy, you know, I wouldn't think twice doing a full day's graft and then, you know, going for a run. But something ain't right, I just can't get out of bed in the morning. And the worst thing for me, I'd gone from like the man to know in my section. I was the guy that could, you know, fix the vehicles, get the parts, get the job done, to being what I felt was a nobody, you know, and I was in a dark hole then, and it was only in a space of like 3 or 4 months. You know, do I go as far as saying I wanted to hurt myself? Yeah, I probably did. You know, you get these bad days, and you think, oh, fucking, why do I bother? You know, I could just don't have to be so paranoid anymore. I don't have to worry about anything, and you could end it. I spoke to my dad, explained, and he said, look, you're obviously not happy. You know, I was saying to him, look, Dad, I'm in a dark place here. I've never felt like this. What is going on? And he recognised it. He just sat me down. He said, life is so short, you need to do what you enjoy, and you're not doing that. You know, and that was the moment I was like, right, what do I enjoy? And you know, we chatted backwards and forwards. You know, you like cars, you like bikes. You know, why don't you go back to what you know? I don't care who you talk to. If you've done more than 5 years in the military, you miss it daily. 100% you miss it day in, day out. There's not a day I don't go by where I think about it. Now, life is difficult. I get more good days than bad days, but my bad days, I then revert back to if I was back in the army, I'd be alright. So that's like my safety net. And that's hard routine to get out of. That will change with time. You know, time's a healer. I'd like to think everyone has a hobby. Mine is motorbikes and cars. I think it's just keeping your mind occupied. You don't just want to get home and fester. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, maybe. For me, I get itchy feet, you know, like I had a stressful day, I quite happily get on a bike and ride it. You know, as soon as you put that helmet on and you've got your own space, that's sort of like my getaway. It's just a good way for like-minded people to get that headspace cleared. Quite a few people that I know, not just military, you know, civilians that have unfortunately hurt themselves, and it's generally young males. And I think a big part of that is, oh, he's a bloke, he's meant to just crack on and get on with it. Everyone has someone, you know, whether it be a mum, dad, friend, brother, you know, work colleagues, anything like that. You know, you've got to talk, and no matter where you've been in the world, what job you've done, you know, talking is a big aspect of it. I wouldn't think twice to ring in someone up and chat some a brew, you know, and we'll have a chat. For me, it's the circle of people you got round you. I was quite lucky that when I was in the military, I had the brotherhood, you know, the guys I served with, but I still kept my friendship circle at home. And I always talk about it. Riding a bike on the right day, on the right bike with the right friends, the right temperature, the sun's out, you know, the morale's going, you know, the freedom, the adrenaline, you can smell the exhaust, fumes coming through your helmet, you can't beat it. You cannot beat that feeling. It's just, you know, you got the fresh air coming through your lid, you know, and you're following your mates, and then you've always got a good story to say after, or did you see that, did you see that, or you stop for a cup of tea, you know, you can't beat that feeling. You know, I appreciate everyone around me. I've got a small friendship group, all the small chats, all the messages, you know, keeping in contact when I was overseas. And again, I think that makes me who I am. And I thank everyone for it.